word. Dibbs.
Oh, if you've been seriously hurt, then you need to go to Trantolo and Trantolo, personal injury law firm. Been doing it for over 85 years in Hartford, Waterbury, Bridgeport, New Haven, Torrington, now in New York, in Long Island, in Riverhead, and Melville. That's right. We're going to take over the whole East Coast. Just dial 9-844-999-9999. Would you rather coach the Lakers or LeBron?
Let's say LeBron's not on the Lakers.
I don't want to coach either one. I just hate the Lakers.
You got to coach one of them. Because I think that's the thing here. Is like you understand the Laker drama that, you know, everything you say and leave LeBron out of it when you're talking about the cons of the culture that Dan Hurley didn't want anything to do with, or maybe he did, and that wasn't a factor, but still we all think that that culture is not Dan Hurley. Or do you want to coach LeBron where he is going to have a lot of say-so in the roster and maybe even the play design?
Is there such a thing as coaching LeBron? Like,
yes.
You don't coach.
No,
you're not coaching.
I don't agree with that,
see what
Kurt.
you're saying.
I think you have to, at some level, be on his level. And you know, again, I think there's been very few guys that have been able to coach LeBron properly. And maybe it could have been Hurley. I don't know. I just don't think that Dan Hurley was going to be able to build the roster that he wanted, the way he wanted, regardless of LeBron. Now, coaching the Lakers, no, I don't want to coach the Lakers. They've had 8 coaches in 10 years. They're burning through them like, you know, Jeannie Buss burns through underwear.
If you coach the Lakers, everything's going to be scrutinized. If you coach LeBron, he's going to scrutinize.
I could say the same thing. Would you rather coach Dak Prescott or the Cowboys? Because Jerry is involved. You're never going to not have Jerry Jones in your business.
I want Dak. I'd rather coach Dak. And again, like, you know.
So if LeBron, let me just put it this way. If LeBron was on the Knicks, I think I could coach him. Because I don't think that Dolan is as big a meddler as Jeannie. I was around Jeannie Buss.
So you'd rather coach LeBron?
I'd rather coach LeBron. At some level, if he wants to win enough, you're like, dude, I understand. You're Mr. Entrepreneur. You're one of the greatest players of all time. Let me coach this team, and you do what you do. But you need a rudder to run this ship. You haven't been doing it well, and you're right. Cleveland twice, Miami, now L.A. Dude, you're not the head coach. You need someone that specifically people can count on, especially the lower level players. Like you nail it all the time. I mean, if you go to take a shot and you miss,
oh yeah,
you get the LeBron eyes.
Yeah, big brother.
Big brother. He's like Superman, lasers right through you. I can't believe you missed that. Right. So it's like, can you imagine having a coach around that? Because now you just demoralized one of your teammates. And now, okay, during the timeout, you come over and you're trying to get everybody on the same page. You can't get everybody on the same page. LeBron's not on the page. He's reading a different book. You've got Anthony Davis that's reading his own book, and they have the same agent. That doesn't mean that these two guys even like each other. So that's the problem with coaching the Lakers. And then on top of it, it's Holly weird. There's this whole like weirdness around the organization. Jeannie Buss. They're not just running the Lakers basketball team. They're running the brand. And that's hard for you to try to be I thought Phil Jackson was overmatched with the Knicks. He didn't know what he was getting into with the Knicks, and he was like, well, I'm going to run this whole thing. And it basically, they ran him out of town. So I think in order to get your way, the Lakers is one of those jobs you don't want.
What would give you more longevity? Because, like, Spoelstra's the only survivor out of all the LeBron coaches. He's the only one still doing what he was doing when LeBron got there, and he's the only one doing what he's doing when he left. Lakers, man, the Vogel won a championship. I know it was the bubble, but everybody was playing in the bubble. But he won a championship. They booted him.
What Spoelstra does well is he's in the background. He's still able to coach a little bit, but he's in the background. Like, to get Jimmy Butler to play for you, to get LeBron. I mean, here's the thing. I respect what LeBron, and I'll say this flat out. I'm not a big fan of LeBron, but he took less money to go to Miami. So did Bosh. And Wade took a pay cut. So they were all making $16 million per. Ray Allen took a pay cut. He could have stayed in Boston for $10 million, took $5 million. They all wanted to play together. So that was a good thing. It just didn't work as well as they thought it was going to work. They thought they were going to win 7 championships. But Spoelstra stayed a little bit in the mix, but he always knew where he belonged. And so he didn't try. If you butt heads with LeBron, he's going to get rid of you.
But I feel for LeBron sometimes when he does have the big brother effect, but I always feel like it comes in the right place of winning. Like, this guy is mad at you because
he's a gamer.
Exactly. And I think coaching LeBron would be, I hate saying this, it kind of feels dirty coming out of my mouth, fun. I mean, you got to remember, he can do everything. I mean, you can draw up any play and put him 1 through 5, and it's going to look like a success. He is going to cover up a lot of ills just because he is who he is.
Two managers that managed one really nasty man well was Jim Leland and Dusty Baker and Barry Bonds. How they did that, I don't know. I mean, obviously, there's the famous video of a young Barry Bonds getting aired out by Jim Leland.
Yeah.
Dusty had a different hands-on approach with Barry, kind of like a big brother, maybe a father. I don't know what it was, but Dusty gets through to his players that way. Dusty's a hell of a manager. Barry's no picnic, so having to deal with egos, that's the toughest part about managing. You're managing men. Torrey was able to get these guys to check their egos at the door. That was his policy. Bobby Cox did it a different way. Phil Jackson did it a different way. Yeah, he inherited great teams, but you could screw that up too. He could have screwed up some of those teams, and he won 11 championships. So I kind of think like the master of these men, Phil Jackson's been one of the best at managing egos.
Man, it's tough too. I remember the Spike Lee documentary he did with Kobe. They did one game. Kobe's the narrator through the whole thing. They go in the locker room at halftime. Phil Jackson's the coach. Kobe is doing everything.
Right.
He is doing everything. And that, I thought, was a part of Phil Jackson's genius. Like, hey man, this guy wants to communicate with the team, so be it. He's good at it. Let it go.
Even The Last Dance. I mean, Phil always was like, okay,
Dennis, have the day off. Go to
Dennis,
Vegas.
have the day off. You know what? And listen, Michael Jordan. Hey, Mike, can you go take care of that problem over there? I don't want to get involved.
Yeah,
He's
it's
brilliant.
tough, man. Tough to do.
We'll talk some NFL. We haven't talked NFL in a while.